Nation gang, welcome to another new installment of Ink and Insights, our weekly comic book highlight breakdown show where we go over the comic books we love from the past week from Marvel, DC, Image, and Indies. As of course, I'm joined as always by my co-host E, and we got Nick coming through again, man, making an appearance. So good to have the fellas back. Fellas, what's up? How's everybody doing? Nick, I'll start with you. How you doing, brother? Good to see you.
I'm doing good, birthday boy.
Yeah,
I'm doing real good, man.
Yeah. I'm
glad we can hang out. I had that cake for Robbie's 10-year. I should have brought a cake.
Yeah.
Should have brought a cake for you too, but we can blow out digital candles, man.
Yeah, I've been able to keep it secret for many a year, but he just ruined all that this year. But that's all good. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it was a great day with the fam. And I'm so happy to kind of end it off with you fellas here talking about this summer's movies and some great comic books. So yeah, thanks, brother. Good to see you. Thanks for coming through, man.
Absolutely.
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. I'm happy to be here celebrating with you again. Similar to Nick, I wish I had something with me, but man, those balloons were just too enticing. And all day today, just sucking out that helium and having really fun conversations at work with that high pitched voice, it was just too enticing. So, sorry, the happy birthday balloons are gone, brother.
All good, man. Good to see you as always. Of course, definitely want to recommend you guys go check out our conversation we had last night on Notes from the Editors about the British invasion over on 9-Panel Grid. Great conversation about the first, second, third, ongoing generations of British creators, comic book writers, and artists who truly changed the landscape of our medium. So check that out, man. Great combo with the and it's been so fun doing that show with you so far, man. I'm glad that venture has officially gotten away from the docks and is out to sea, and it feels good building on that momentum. So it's been a joy. But we got something in the house. Station bro. Station, good to see you, man. Hope you were doing well. Yeah, Bullseye, dude. Have to do Bullseye for the thumbs up. We're gonna get to the comics real quick. But we gotta start with some movie talk. Now that he has seen Fantastic Four as of what? How many days ago?
It's pretty fresh. We just saw it over the weekend. I can't remember if it was Saturday or Sunday, one of those two. But yeah, it's super fresh in my mind.
So we're there. Nick was on it. Nick was on both of these this summer, man. I was surprised.
I think I saw them both Thursday. The first day they came out.
You were not playing around this summer.
I told my wife that. I said, "Listen, these two movies are coming out. I'm gonna see them opening weekend with or without you, essentially. So are you on board or not?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm on board, man. Take care of the tickets and we're going." I'm like, "All right. When you get home from work, we're heading back out, man. So let's go."
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So let's start with the first release. Obviously, James Gunn's highly anticipated Superman, David Corenswet, a litany of surrounding characters. We got the Justice Gang. We got Crypto. We got the engineer Lex Luthor. We had an incredible supporting cast. Nicholas Hoult, I thought, did an incredible job. We're going to get to it, but yeah, everybody was waiting on this one. I think it met expectations. There's been a lot of back and forth about the box office numbers and stuff like that. I don't really pay attention to the numbers like that and weigh a movie success against those numbers, but I don't know. To me, this one has been a success, I think, overall. Wouldn't you guys say? Like, I feel like it hit the mark. It delivered. It appeased a wide swath of people, a wide swath of fans. I feel like a lot of people were entertained and went to see this movie at least once, if not more than once. And I think it's going to, continue paying dividends down the road with the universe they're building. So I think, all in all, it was a success. There's definitely some things I had issues with, but we'll get to that. But like overall, do you think this one met the hype, met the mark, and achieved its goals?
I mean, yeah, like it felt really good to be excited to go back to the theaters to see a superhero type of movie. Because I feel like we all, whether it was like superhero fatigue or whether it was just like the lack of quality maybe that we got in certain superhero movies, I just felt like I was rejuvenated. I was really like juiced to go see both movies that we'll be discussing here, but definitely Superman in particular.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Nick?
Yeah, I felt the same way. It felt good to see a movie, have expectations for it. It met the expectation. not like Stu was saying, it's not without its faults, but walking out of the theater smiling and saying, all right, that was, I miss that feeling, man. I haven't had that feeling since probably Endgame, so coming out of the theater smiling and being like, yeah, it wasn't perfect, but damn, okay, that was pretty good, man. I want to see it again. And then hearing the reception throughout the weekend was great too. Even to the point where during one of our random work calls the next week, somebody said, hey, I'm hearing a lot of great things about Superman. If anyone had seen that movie, is it good? I'm like, yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. So like, even when it penetrates that kind of an audience,
Hell yeah.
and it goes to the casual folks that otherwise wouldn't talk about it, I think the word of mouth got out pretty quick, and it was mostly positive, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It did seem that way from the jump. It seemed like there was going to be a moment where it didn't go that way at first, but then it definitely seemed like it was pretty overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess staying with that note, the pros, I think the movie it did well. I thought there was the special effects for the most part, I thought were on point. I thought a lot of the shots looked great. I thought Corn Sweat was a great Superman. I thought he was right in the character.
Yeah.
I like the attention that Gunn paid to the little moments, like saving the squirrel, stuff like that. It was corny, but it worked for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I thought the action was well done. Nicholas Hoult, I thought the supporting cast was good, almost too good at some points. I thought it almost, I don't know, it almost pulled away from Corn Sweat and the Superman story a little bit too much. But I thought this movie did a lot of things right. It did get mired sometimes with, like, when we were in the jail sequence and stuff like that, and all the special effects. I thought I don't know, it was a little disorienting sometimes, trying to keep track of what was going on and where we were at, especially when we were going down the Rainbow River to the black hole and all that.
Yeah.
But it was still dope. I love Metamorpho and the spotlight he got in that sequence. And I thought one of the best scenes was him when they were walking out of that collider, that rip in the universe, and he had his child and he was going off into the dark. Just like that still shot, I thought was like one of the best shots of the movie. So I think Gunn found a way to make it work with like his aesthetic, his message, the whole punk rock thing at the end. I think he pulled it off. I don't know if it necessarily landed with me like it landed with other people, but I do think he was successful in that. Yeah, man. And I just think on a lot of, I love the back. I could have used a lot more Lois Lane. I loved her for what we got, but
Yeah.
I did love Mr. Terrific, and
Mhm.
like I said, the supporting cast was great. So I don't know. What are y'all's pros? What were the things you enjoyed most about it?
Nick, I'll go ahead and let you start, man.
So I had a real big concern going in with the amount of characters we saw in the trailer. I'm like, how are we possibly going to manage a brand new universe, right, with the Superman? How are we possibly going to manage all these ancillary characters? And I think they did a good job of doing that. So I think they had good balance, I thought, of screen time. Each character had their cool moment. Mr. Terrific had a great moment where him and Lois are trying to infiltrate, right? There's going to be spoilers in this conversation, guys. So yeah, I mean, there's going to be things that we're probably going to say that if you haven't seen the movie.
My bad.
But like that moment was great with him. He had a couple little quips here and there. Guy, of course, he had his moments to shine as well in these scenes. So I think they juggled screen time with all the characters pretty well. They didn't baby us with an origin story. I thought that was another great idea. And I think we have a formula now for future movies to follow. Like, we don't need to see Bruce's parents die. We can figure this stuff out. So those are really two big concerns I had. I'm like, I don't want an origin story, and how are we going to juggle the screen time? And I think they nailed that pretty well. I think the overall aesthetic was very much James Gunn as well. I wish it would lean a little bit more towards the music, but that may have been too much like Guardians if they did that, I suppose. So I'm kind of glad they didn't do that, but there was certainly that flavor with the punk rock aesthetic and everything in there. But it was a interesting world that they developed, and I talked about this before. Like, when we watched certain TV shows, I wanted to look like a movie. I wanted to look really refined and polished, and that they took their time making it. Some of these TV shows, it looks like a school play with bad backdrops, obvious CGI, some weird backdrops and things like that. Like, this felt like it was a premium product. You know what I mean? Like I didn't feel like it was cheap in any way, in any scene particularly. So I think they nailed that too. So I had a few concerns going in. Those concerns weren't realized throughout the film. And so I had a pretty good time overall. So some more things, but I'm more anxious to see what Eric thinks about it since he saw it so recently. Maybe he'll spark some more
Yeah.
thoughts here.
In Gun we trust. All right. And that's kind of like my mantra now when it comes to superhero movies. My favorites of all of the Marvel movies, taking out like the Avengers event driven things, Guardians of the Galaxy, hands down, without a shadow of a doubt, has been my favorite. So I was really excited when we knew that he was going to be taking over DC and particularly Superman, because I feel like he could bring a really good vision and a lot of heart to the character that we clearly have gotten now. Like we know the final product, and I feel like he delivered on it. The movie just felt like it delivered on everything I needed, and I talked about this a little bit. I believe it was on Blame Fable, but it was hopeful and it was joyful, and I feel like we needed both of those things. Whether it was all of the moments with Crypto, which very easily could have gotten out of hand, and you could have been like, "Wow, this went way longer than it should have," and I feel like he towed the line just perfectly to keep that really kind of, I don't know, not overwrought, but just enough to make it you're really like, this is the dude's dog, and we should all be having fun here. And on top of that, I love the conversation when he was going back and forth with Lois about the actions that he took, and like whether or not, the ramifications of his decisions, and him being a representative of a nation as opposed to being just a person who wants to do things right. I love his viewpoints and his mentality on that as well. So like it really, really delivered on what I want from the character of Superman, how he is supposed to convey the best of us. Totally did the trick for me. But the thing that really surprised me about the movie was, and it's gotten some critique, but like one of the moments that sticks out to me is the monkey typewriter thing where they were ship posting, for lack of a better term, where they were just like trying to talk crap about Superman.
I think Superman sucks or whatever.
And there were so many people that were like, "Oh, like really? Oh my God! Like what a terrible commentary on people that are talking bad about the movie or about the character and blah blah blah." I'm like, but then I look back at it and I'm like, tell me that there is not a more Grant Morrison moment in a comic book movie than that moment right there. It felt so on point with something that would be Grant Morrison-esque. And my personal favorite Superman story is All-Star Superman. It's like, low-hanging fruit. I'm not going to say that's a bold statement or anything, but like it just felt really Grant Morrison. And that's really cool because when you think of his ideas, or I'm sorry, their ideas, it's not something that I think is like easily translatable to film. And Gunn did that, which is like kudos to him. He deserves a freaking award just for that alone. But it has its faults. I think that there was overindulgence in a lot of in the movie. It could have been trimmed down maybe 15 minutes, right? But I had the same critique for his Suicide Squad movie as well. I feel like there were times where you could have cut that puppy down and it maybe would have made for just a more clean experience. But man, I gotta say, I will see this again. I may see this again in theaters if it's still there. I will absolutely see it again regardless. So I'm going to be watching this on my TV at home.
Oh, I can't wait to stream it. Yeah, that's gonna be great.
It's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Favorite performance besides either of the leads, like Lois or Clark. I mean, any of the supporting cast, Mr. Terrific. Who took the cake for you guys?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you called out the name. I think. Come on, are we all three of us going to say Mr. Terrific?
I don't know if he's my number one though. I think he was great, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me think.
I think he. I mean, like I said, I think him and Guy stole the show. I mean, as far as like ancillary cast. So that's that. I mean, Guy towed that line perfectly between just asshole and person you want as like a first draft pick, on your team. Yeah. I think he towed that line perfectly. And so all these little jokes back and forth and all that stuff, the haircut jokes, and then him shining at the very end, I thought was really cool. And he was just a cool character. I like after seeing the movie, I want to see more in the TV shows that they're going to be coming up soon and everything. I want to see more of that. And I didn't think I was going to feel that way going in. So, but Terrific was the same way, but I want to spread the love too.
Such a good moment at the end when Metamorpho liked the Justice Gang name. You're in.
Yeah, you're in. I know.
That one got
Little
me.
things like
That one
that,
got
you
me,
know?
dude. I was
But it's
snickering.
little
That was
jokes like
great.
that remind you it's a James Gunn movie. So like
Absolutely.
Yeah.
that's the flavor that he was talking about. Like there's moments where you go, yeah, it's a James Gunn movie. Like that's gonna be in
Flawless
there.
and flawless line delivery from Philly.
And it was rarely eye rolly, which you could
Yeah,
easily do too.
exactly.
You know, it's
Oh.
not like a Love and Thunder where it turns into an eye roll fest the entire time.
Oh my
You
god. Yeah.
know, it's like,
Yes.
oh God, what are we doing, guys?
Yeah, striking that balance is hard, and he did, and he does it.
Yeah, he really does. I said it before, but I know I'm kind of cheating because he is kind of a main character. But Nicky Holt, man, as Lex Luthor, I thought was freaking awesome. I thought he really brought it, and I thought in a way that like, how many major roles has that guy lost out on, and auditions and stuff like that? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he can channel that haterade in a way that like certain actors can't. I think it was such a great choice.
Okay, wait a minute. We're hitting the pause button right here because you start off by saying, "All right, let's not pick Superman or Lex Luthor," and you make us go through the exercise, and then you're like, "You know what? Screw the rules. I'm going to pick Lex Luthor."
Superman.
You're lucky it's your birthday. Is all I'm saying. You're lucky.
I will. Did you guys have a problem with like the whole video game aspect of it though? B12, C4.
I think that's good for what I think that has a shelf life of like one sequence for me. After that, like that we kept getting it over and over again.
Right.
I think was a problem.
Yeah.
That's that overindulgence.
Right. Yes. I thought that was a little cheesy. But I enjoyed it when it was going on, and they exploited it later. So like, I kind of wanted it to be more than just one note, and it kind of was just one note. His attack strategy, but whatever.
Yeah.
But there's one more thing that stood out to me too, in regard to characters. And it's so small, and they didn't have a lot of screen time, so I think it's worthwhile to shout out Ma and Pa Kent. I love how down to earth they were. I actually really liked Kevin Costner's Pa Kent previously. I know that might be a hot take. Actually, I dug his take on it though.
Yeah.
But man, I love how just like salt of the earth kind of people they are, and every single time Ma Kent came out and said, "Oh, mush," it just like melted my heart. I was like, these are like the perfect freaking parents, man. They are so great. Like it, the portrayal was awesome. I loved them.
Yeah, it was surprising to learn like that's authentic. That's supposed to be authentic Kansas dialect, right? Like he that woman and all that isn't that true? Like or something like that.
It just felt middle America, real.
Yeah. Either way, it did.
Yeah, it felt good, and they had just enough screen time too. It wasn't overpowering or anything like that. So they played their part. They reoriented him. They got him recentered, and they sent him off on his mission. Like that's what they should be doing.
Yeah. But overall, what would you guys give it out of 5? You digs or backlogs or
how many insights?
How many insights? How many inkies?
How many inkies? There you go.
Oh boy,
man!
I give at least 87.
87. What's the scale? Is inkies?
Yeah, who knows what the hell the scale is? So
yeah, I go to 416 now. Man, I think it was great. Like the fact that I walked out smiling has to say that it has to be.
It's a solid like a 4 out of 5.
It's at least a 4, and and I try to respect the whole scale. I see way too many 4s being thrown around. You know what I mean? It's like, guys, there's a 1, 2, and 3 as well. So like, I think it's a 4. It gives it room to grow, but it's way better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah. 4 is the floor for the movie. It fits somewhere between 4 and 5.
Oh yeah, just like True Romance.
I saw that coming a mile away. Yeah,
you did. I know you did.
What can I say?
Right, moving on to the real summer blockbuster, guys.
Oh, can I give this a 4?
No, you cannot.
Oh, damn it! All right.
Only 5s will be tolerated. I'm just kidding. You can give it whatever you want, brother. F first steps, dude. Yeah, Marvel's Hail Mary, right? They needed this one to land. They needed this one to be a success. Thunderbolts was okay, but obviously that's not going to carry the franchise forward and, start to put the pieces in play for Doomsday and all the things they want to do, which keeps getting delayed, which is going to be interesting to see how all that works out. But, yeah, man, first of all, the casting, there's a lot of speculation, whatever about this the casting wasn't going to work. Is he the right Reed Richards, et cetera, Human Torch. Did the casting get work for you? It worked on all levels for me. I thought everybody was pitch perfect, and they really had a great, like, both like couple dynamic and team and family dynamic. So I'm just curious on y'all's thoughts on that before we get into general things.
Yeah, Eric.
I was so pleasantly surprised because
Right?
I didn't think I had my critiques when the casting came out right out the gates. I was like, I kind of see maybe what they're going for, but I just don't think that this Eddie Munson kid from Stranger Things is going to fit Johnny Storm. I definitely was not on board for Pedro Pascal. I didn't think that he was going to be able to do the neurotic side of Reed well. I don't know enough about Vanessa Kirby, so I'm like, she looks the part. But like that's the best I can really say. So I don't know. And man, I was like, my dude, cousin, Richie from The Bear. I was like, I love that guy, but is he going to be able to bring the gruffness of Ben Grimm? And dude, like, just check every single one of my trepidations. Nah, they answered the call, every single one. Like, and it really made the experience for me. And I'll talk about more when we get to that. But yeah, casting, so good.
Oh, yeah. Nick, how about you, bro?
I'll have to roll. Yeah, I mean, I pretty much echo everything. Like, I didn't have familiarity with who plays Ben, and like you said, with Eddie and stuff. I was like, okay, that might work because he's kind of like a very eccentric kind of a character inside of Stranger Things. So I was like, that could work. It just depends on the chemistry and the dialogue and the execution of it. But you're right. Like Pedro Pascal, I was curious to know how that would work, but again, it has to go down with the chemistry and the writing and everything and the execution of it. I wasn't keen on the character. I mean, I wanted John Krasinski to just pull forward and just be our guy, right? Like it seemed like that was the easy thing. Get him and Emily Blunt. What's how hard is this? You know? And then Vanessa Kirby was great in Mission Impossible, whatever one that was. When I saw her in that, I'm like, okay, that's gonna be cool. She's gonna be great in that. But so again, very pleasantly surprised on just the chemistry of all the characters. Once those actors started, getting in the scenes together and everything, I immediately forgot who they were, and they were those characters, and I think they represented them really, really well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well said. I got to agree with both of you. I thought it was slam dunks across the board. I thought everybody really brought an interesting new look to these characters and really stayed true to the essence of them, but also did something that was new and that was interesting and entertaining. Before we get to thoughts at large, I got to get to the chat because I keep neglecting them. So I want to say what up to everybody. Thank y'all for coming through. Hope everybody's having a great Wednesday. Omega said Superman was fun. Guy Gardner had me laughing. Hell yeah, bro.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
They did pretty good at making likes absolutely and stuff. Yep. They really did. He was.
I like that. He was not redeemable whatsoever. It wasn't like the Magneto, like, we are the future, Charles. It wasn't anything like that at all. It was just like, this dude sucks, and we're gonna make sure he sucks.
Oh yeah, he just kept doubling down. We got Cheeky in the house, bro. What up? Glad you could make it from across the pond. Good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Jimmy Olsen had the best. Dude, Jimmy Olsen was great. Great call. Absolutely. Definitely got to shout him out. Sorry, Superman couldn't make it, so you got an upgrade.
I love that. That was such a great call out, man. That's what I'm saying, dude. Guy was the best.
Derek in the building. Derek, what up, bro? Happy Wednesday. Hope you're doing well. Hey. Thanks for coming through. Rooster said, calm down, boys. I'm here. It's all going to be okay.
We were waiting, man. We were waiting.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. What up, bro? Yeah. 4.5. All right. Hell yeah. We respect that. Solid reviews. Vanessa Kirby channeled the character she played in Pieces of a Woman. In that film, she played a pregnant woman whose baby is born at home using a midwife. It goes terribly wrong. Powerful performance.
Oh, wow.
Damn, I got to check that one out. Yeah, she's incredible. She really was a force of nature in this one. So many great moments. Like when Nick and I were talking about this in the back chat, when they were getting away from Galactus and she told Johnny to kill Silver Surfer. Oh, that was like one of the best moments of the movie.
Yeah.
Like it was so powerful.
She tried to kill your nephew.
Your nephew, yeah.
He's like, got it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was a great moment.
But that's what made the movie. In that same exact vein, when Silver Surfer comes out of the sky for the first time, they're all like toasting on the balcony and the sky turns and the fire starts coming through. One of the best parts, and this is the same exact line, essentially, Reed goes, Johnny, he flames on and goes right up. You know, like they work so well as a team. And again,
Yes.
because they didn't go over origin stories, they're a well-oiled machine. Something's coming out of the sky, Johnny, go. And he just knows, man. And that moment happened. I'm like, ooh, that was nice, man. I like that.
And I was going to echo something similar to that. And I'll maybe take it a step further too. More so than a team, it was the family aspect that really got me, because I felt like such a strong connection between them. Sure, team, definitely. Family, I was like, ooh, it feels right. It feels like there is like whatever connection. There's more there.
Yeah,
right.
Agreed. So yeah, I guess I don't know. How do we want to approach this? General thoughts. Like, were you guys expecting it to be for Franklin Richards to play a biggest? I know he was. He called it. He had another one of his Nostradamus moments. He called Franklin Richards on one of those shows way back in the day. I did not see Franklin playing as big a part in this. I thought it was going to be more just maybe the ultimate nullifier would come into play or something like that, where we were going to go more straight up Kirby with it. So it was kind of interesting to see that he was willing to make that trade off. But how did the overall story and characterization of like Silver Surfer and Galactus and like, you know, kind of this threat work for y'all? Did it work? I thought it was dope because it was very true to Kirby, but it was also something that, like, you know, like with Superman, there were, you know, odes to ages past. This one much more intentionally it felt, and you know, sincere, I guess, is a not as sincere, like more sincere than Superman, but this one just felt like it honed in on Jack more, and it definitely wanted to make sure he got his just due. So that's what I loved about it. Like everything from the fire coming out of the sky. I mean, that's straight up Kirby. So it was just beautiful to see, and we got a lot of moments like that. But there was also like very cool. I thought the way they introduced Galactus and all that was powerful and awesome. And it was scary as shit. Like it was big stakes. So I kind of like how it brought that back to the MCU. But what were y'all's thoughts on you know, general story, and you know, how'd you feel about the overall arcs of everybody?
I dug it. Like I dug it a lot. And I know that there's been talks about them really kind of chasing that 60s feel and vibe. And I'm glad that they went with that, because where Superman felt still fun, it felt timely. It felt like a movie that needed to be of this moment. This feels retro in a way that is very charming. And that charm didn't necessarily come through in the same way as Superman. It was the same but different. This one had nostalgia to it that I think that really made the movie a step further than I think it would have been if you set it in this modern day setting. Because I don't know, there's something that always feels classic about Fantastic Four. It's probably because it's the first property from Marvel, but I think that you needed that feeling for this movie to make it more successful than any other Fantastic Four iteration.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Nick, how about you?
Yeah, I think you nailed it with like the whole charm aspect of it. And if you take it further too, it's like, how could a world that looks like it's in the 60s be this technologically advanced? And the answer is Reed, right? Like he's going to influence and provide new inventions and whatever into this thing, but like the culture and the society is still going to be in that in that time frame, right? So it's going to be the same vibe, but the culture hasn't caught up to the technology yet. So like it made sense that
I thought one of the best like instances of that was like, we got these deep space recordings of these civilizations being destroyed, and they're coming through, and we're recording them on vinyl. Yeah. Here's the vinyl.
That's what I'm saying. Like, like the technology's
advanced,
advanced, but like culture didn't advance that far yet. And just the aesthetic and the vibe and the feel of the time. So I thought that was handled great.
Did you guys immediately want the turntable that Johnny had? Just out of curiosity, I saw that on screen. I was like, oh my God, I need that in my life right now.
Yeah, I didn't pay attention to the speakers hooked up to it though, but it's got to be all analog, right? So that'd be amazing.
Yeah, that's true.
I was like, I want those amps and everything. Yeah.
Did the stakes work for you guys? Like I want your baby or the rest of the world, and then Sue's speech in the middle of town square where she, did all that. Like he said, I think that's where the retro charminess of it kind of, shines you over. There's a little bit of I don't know, disbelief. Like part of me wonders if a mob these days wouldn't just tear her and her child apart. You know what I mean? Like not to be too dark,
yeah.
not to be too dark about it, but what did you guys think about it? I still found it. It didn't seem like an exercise to to go along with the story and where things were going, regardless. At least to me personally, did it work for y'all?
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the family needed to work. If the family didn't work, the stakes wouldn't work. But they got the
Right.
family so right, and you actually ended up caring for this child outside of the fact that it is a child, that it just made everything else more powerful. So, short answer, yes, for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were moments in this in the overall story that I feel like the chemistry, the environment, the world building, the chemistry and everything, I feel like that was stronger than the story. And there were moments in the story I'm like, nah, this is where we're going, with this.
Oh,
And it's
yeah,
kind of predictable. And the scene specifically that you're talking about where, she brings out Franklin and she's like, this is our baby. This blah, 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 blah. Like
Mhm.
that whole scene felt a little, I mentioned this before, it felt a little like a reshoot in a way. Like there was something going on. It felt like a little green screen. It felt like a little bit off. And I'm like, okay, would that actually happen? Maybe. And I think that's a good maternal instinct to be like, all right, well, obviously this is our child. We're not going to sacrifice it, but we're not also going to sacrifice you for our child. So I think the message was cool. I think the execution of it was a little bit off, but I think that's wrapped up in the fact that some of the story beats and things probably from like halfway through the movie on felt a little clunky to me, story wise. But luckily, the chemistry of the world building and all the characters and the way they were acting, and everything, really kind of picked up the slack.
Yeah. What did you guys think about Big G? And I thought my homie on Instagram, Unruly Simeon, made a great note that he did feel like a bit one note thuggish in this thing, like, and not like the cosmic, the deep cosmic force and balance in the universe that he is. There was that, where he's trying to um, basically appoint Franklin as his successor, whether he wants to be or not. But I thought at least the look was fantastic. I do agree with what with what my homie Simeon said. I do think there could have been a little bit more there. Like it would have been cool to just like get a shot or a backstory. But again, we don't need that. And I do like how everything was implied. But just like I don't know, just to set it up a little bit more. And I don't know, give a little bit more complexity, depth and complexity of the character, because I think he's one of the biggest bads, and I think you can really, he's got legs to go movies and movies if you want him to. But I don't know what they're going to do with him. But regardless, I think the look was great. His introduction was great. There's so many elements of the character that did get correct. What did y'all feel like?
Go for it, Nick.
So you guys will have to educate me a little bit more on Galactus himself, but essentially, like, he's not a monologue kind of a guy, as far as I'm aware. Really, right?
Man of few words.
He's a man of few words, so it's really hard to portray that. He needs an intermediary, which is Silver Surfer, right? The Herald. So I think the Herald did a good job of portraying the inevitability of the situation, and I think his presence was felt. I don't know what else you do. It's not Thanos coming to town and having these grand poetic monologues about whatever it might be and being this force to reckon with on top of it. I think he kind of ruined the standard, because to me, it's the pinnacle of villains in the MCU right now. So when you have someone like Galactus, who's more of a force, you need the Herald to really do a lot of the heavy lifting. And then you just need him to come and wreck shop. And I think the inevitability that was set in the beginning, which is like, you can't do anything against this guy. I'm sorry. He's a constant. It's kind of like Darkseid or whatever. It's like, he's coming. He's never been stopped. You're just next on the line. And then when he gets there, he's taken out fairly easily. Like, he's tricked. He's not so much of a force to be reckoned with. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like that was a little bit off, but I think the characterization, the design of him, the introduction to him, and the threat was cool. Yeah. I just wish they kind of tweaked the ending a little bit to match that level of threat, I guess.
Yeah, dude, like you hit the nail on the head. Like I kind of hate every time, and I don't know how to do this any better, but it's just the fact that we've seen it so many times. I hate this. I hate people using telepathy, or I'm sorry, telekinesis, or I hate the invisible. It's like you're okay, so you're gonna wave your hands around and something will magically happen. Galactus should have been a celestial level threat, and they talk about it. The stakes are there, but I don't know if the resolution for that fits the grandiose nature of what he is capable of. So it's like
Right.
it wasn't maybe a Galactus problem so much as it was a solution problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, like in the comic books, I felt like they would have done that. Like, Sue Storm is rearranging the molecules inside Galactus or some shit, and like make it like all super sciencey, where you just go along with it. But I completely understand what you're saying. It is like he's this, the devourer of worlds, and he comes and he just gets like tripped and into a hole. Like that's what all right.
Like
Right.
the only saving grace I have is like kind of like the stories that you hear about like a mother lifting a car to save their baby and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, her child is in danger, so maybe she is like just pulling on some kind of whatever, the reserves basically that maybe you have like when it's life or death. So if that's the case, sure, but still it kind of feels like not lazy writing, but like whatever, not as grand writing as maybe it could have been.
And again, I go back to Thanos, and I'm sorry to keep doing that, but like he took on the entire Guardians of the Galaxy with Iron Man, with Spider-Man, with Doctor Strange, with what I'm saying? So like,
Mhm.
and he was just a dude with a couple gems and with Infinity Stones, which obviously are going to make him
Just
powerful.
a dude with a couple gems.
I know.
It was
Hold
that.
on.
It was honestly for me. It was that fight with Hulk.
Well, he had the Power Stone and stuff, right? So yeah, of course, yeah.
It's like let him have his fun. Like
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about when we're talking about introducing a villain, and we want this to feel like a real freaking threat. Like there's nothing that you're going to do to stop this guy from achieving their goal. They did a great job of doing it over there, and they set up the same kind of stakes here, but I don't think the execution of it was as strong.
Well, and yeah, that's the problem, is that we got to see characters that we had a connection with Thanos. Like we saw him take out all of these characters that we've watched their journey. When you're talking about the stakes of Galactus, sure, he ate planets, but we have no connection to those planets. We have no
we're like,
connection to
okay,
the
great,
people.
yeah,
It's like,
he's
okay,
done it
so
for billions of years. Who cares?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like the dude took out a whole row of Oreos. Big deal.
Yeah, I would argue that Silver Surfer was more menacing in that escape scene
Oh yeah.
than Galactus
Oh my
was at any point in the entire
that was
movie.
so
That whole scene was incredible.
Dude, I love the entrance. They come in and the way they got scanned, and then it like zoomed in on Sue's belly. I would be freaking the fuck out. It was that was incredible. Yeah, but her relentlessness and how I love like how they were trying to calibrate how to shoot the weapon, in the spinning vortex and all that. It was just that was so Fantastic Four, man. That was such a
great
Fantastic Four moment right there.
Can we talk about, I know we have comics to talk about as well outside of comic book movies, but can we talk about the look of the movie as well? I loved the fact that like the scanner you talked about, and it just clicked in my head. Did you guys get the first Alien vibes, like when they're scanning the things and you see like the scanner come down on the mist, like right where the alien eggs are, and like 2001 A Space Odyssey? Like there were so many really cool retro callbacks to science fiction movies that, man, it really made those parts shine for me. And like the computers too, like it still had that almost the HAL feel to it. They weren't totally futuristic.
It was so incredible, man.
Oh,
it was
so good.
All the little details, like it feel like they spared no expense with that. So that's what I really appreciated about it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And what about like real quick? What about like the moments where Reed is just being Reed and he starts contemplating and at least putting on the table worst case scenario plans?
Yeah.
And him and Sue kind of get into it because at some point, okay, this is bring up another point too. This is awesome. Okay, so like that relationship we know is toxic, and we know it can go back and forth. There's a lot of love there, but there's also a lot of arguing going on there. I thought they captured that really, really well with Reed just contemplating worst case scenarios with Franklin. I thought that was handled great, and how protective she got. All of a sudden, she's like, "Wait, you're thinking about this shit," but then later, it kind of flips on her a little bit because he remembers that conversation and he tries to obviously pocket that and throw it away. And she's like, I know you and I agree. Like our options are limited.
Yeah.
And we have to do what we don't want to do. That was really great. So I want feedback on that. But the other one was, how awesome was it that we didn't get a Ben and Reed conversation about why haven't you changed me back yet? Thank God we didn't
Yes.
get.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Amen, bro.
Good call.
Well,
Good
clap
call.
for that. So, and just to speak to your point A, there's a look Pascal gives Franklin where you can tell he's considering. It's like a split second, but it's just so beautiful and so well done where you can see it comes across his mind, and then he like kind of like turns and moves on. And he's
Yeah,
trying to like
and she
push it. You can
notices
tell,
that, and she's
yes.
like, "Oh,
She's
yeah,
like,
you're actually right now."
So brilliant.
Yeah,
Like
that was
I
a
think
great
he's in the little seat or something. I don't know. It's so good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, and talking about point B to what Nick was saying as well, that was probably my favorite performance of the entire movie was Ben Grimm. I feel like they were able to pull on the humbleness of the character. I think it was a really great way to convey the way that Jack Kirby was and the way that Jack Kirby's creation was on the page as well. I think it was beautiful. Like the conversations that he has with Reed, pitch perfect. I love just how whatever. He was a man of simple needs, and he was there to do the thing that was needed of him in any given time and moment. He was perfect for this movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I could have done with one or two less Ben Grimm walking around at night lamenting scenes. I think there's probably three of those in the movie.
This monster.
I know. I get the obvious reference. What I'm saying is, doing it three times, I was just like, oh, okay, we're back in the alleyway. Hey, get out of my way, or whatever. I'm like, okay, what do we do that for? Obviously, you needed it, but did we need it like 3 times? Is my point.
Okay.
Omega, that's how we like the clobbering time bit. I liked it. I thought it was cool, and
It worked.
I didn't realize that was supposed to be the Kirby lookalike saying that to him at the time until after the fact. Did you guys catch that? The Kirby lookalike was the one who was saying it. Hey, say the thing. That's like
in the beginning.
Yeah, that's supposed to be the Jack Kirby lookalike guy.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
And apparently, him and a guy that looks like Stan show up later when the surfer is like coming down there in their studio or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see all the artwork plastered on the walls.
There's a lot of Easter eggs, man. We didn't catch them all.
Nick, you had a good alternate ending you were telling me about, bro. You want to talk about that? No,
I will.
Yeah, flex some.
If you guys aren't sick of me talking yet, so
it was good.
Okay, so one of my main problems with the movie was, and we've talked about it, was how easily he was dispatched, right? I mean, we have this portal, we're just going to push him through there, use a lot of our mom strength and do that, which is what we did. But what I think would be the better ending, and it would showcase how strong Galactus is and how much of an inevitability he really is. So he lands on Earth, picks up the tree, smells it. That was a weird scene. And then he starts walking through, destroying stuff, and he wants to get Franklin, right? He's approaching. They set the trap. Everything's still the same, right? They're getting to the moment where, Sue's pushing him. He's got Franklin in his hand. All this stuff, right? We're still in that same moment. He needs to pull Thanos and say, rain fire. Essentially, he needs to call his ship in and start devouring this planet because things are getting dicey, and he needs this planet to be wiped out. He's got what he needs, right? He'll escape somehow. What needs to happen is Reed, as the planet now is being destroyed, earthquakes are happening, craziness is happening. Everyone that's in the mole cities or whatever, like they all come up, right? Like they can't stay underground anymore. They have to come above. What needs to happen is Reed sees a portal opening up, that portal that's supposed to ship out Galactus. And he's realizing the Earth is already doomed. Everybody here is going to die. I can't do anything about this. I can save my family though. So he does the exact same thing he does in the movie, vaulting around, grabbing Franklin, getting Ben, getting Johnny, getting Sue, but he ends up taking his family through the portal. They get zapped out as that machine wipes the planet out. That Earth is dead and gone. They show up where? Modern day MCU, Earth, wherever. And then then his entire family looks at him and says, "What did you do?"
Oh yeah.
And that starts that rift.
How's that for hope, Superman? Look up, baby. Yeah.
So Galactus maintains his power, right? And the force of nature that he is. Reed kind of becomes the bad guy and has to go on a redemption arc now. and everyone's fine. And now they're in our universe. I think that kind of ties up a lot of stuff.
I like it.
Yeah.
Can I be honest though? Like, I thought you were going in a very different direction when you were describing your setup here. I thought you were going to go full Sam Raimi Spider-Man. The people come up from Subterranea, and then they start throwing pop cans at Galactus, going, "You mess with one of us, you mess with all of us."
No, because they set it up throughout the movie too. They're like, "Are we safe?" And he's like, "I don't know," because that was the line in the movie. And I would love for him to try everything and fail. And the only thing he can think of, being the maniac that he is and the dad that he is, I have a way to save my family right now. I can't save everybody else. This is the only option we have. And then his family's destroyed. And can you imagine that mental weight and that conversation with the family later when they all freak out about it?
And think about what that could potentially set up too. You're right. The weight of losing something, the weight of failure sets up him on his mission for the solution of everything.
Yes.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, now we're left in this weird limbo where everything's fine. So how do we get there? Well, doomsday, right? Like, we'll figure it out. But I think it would have been more dramatic and make it feel like Endgame or make it feel like Infinity War if they took the hope and dialed it right down to -10, and they were like, "Oh my God," and left us with that. I think that would have been a little bit better of ending, but we'll see what they do and how they.
I think they're going to do that soon. I definitely think they're gonna repeat that formula.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a great call. I just think it was probably too soon for them to do that. Like, at least.
It'd be a kick in the balls for sure. But like, I think it would have been really dramatic and fun to see that though.
Yeah. And you could have done some really cool things with the post-credit scenes in that one. All right, real quick before we move on, Bruce said would have been cool if they couldn't sway the mob opinion. We got to see Reed get a little defensive to give shade to the maker. Ooh, yeah. Hell yeah. Megan said when Galactus demanded for the baby half the theater gas, so I think it worked overall, making him a real bad guy. Hell yeah. That was a great scene too. He's talking about consume your world while your baby watches or something like that. What was it? It was a good line.
Yeah.
Just a dude with a couple of gems is the one she told you.
You know what I mean? Galactus is supposed to be a constant too. Like, he was born in the dawn of the universe, man. Like, right? Like in certain texts. So it's like he's a force to be reckoned with too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Rooster said they show up in the Star Wars universe where we see Patton Oswalt filibuster.
Shut up. Eric said that, or Stu said that. One of you said that.
And Boba Fett's hand comes out of the Sarlacc pit.
I'm going to filibuster the rest of the show right now.
All right, gang. Let's get into our comics, man. We're going to start off. Speaking of not doing really right by Kirby, One World Under Doom. We have not covered this series yet. And I think for good reason. It's been up and down. It's had its high moments, but I think it's it's a little off in its characterization of Doom, as we'll see here. This one was a bit of a disappointment.
Basically, thank God you said that. Thank God.
This was so lame. I thought we're gonna debate Reed in front of the world, and then while we're doing that, they're gonna break into Latveria and find out that Doom is basically harvesting the life energy from every one of the Latverian citizens to power, basically his time as number one, right? Which I think is kind of a ludicrous concept. If you know anything about the history of Dr. Doom, he does rule with an iron fist, but I think to do this to the entire population of Latveria is a stretch at best. And it's kind of like a deflating, really like obvious, mic drop as far as the story is gone. I think, North has done a lot of great things with Fantastic Four, and I think he does have a good voice for Doom most of the time, but this one fell flat for me. Kind of seemed predictable, and I don't know, it was just unfortunate. I've kind of been monitoring this thing from the sidelines and reading here and there, catching up every couple issues. So I hadn't caught up since Dormammu, but I don't know. Getting here was not, it's been enjoyable. It's been entertaining. I think the art is competent, and the story's been pretty good up to this point. But this I don't know if this is the crescendo. I think we're in trouble, and also I think with the delays they have with the movie, and as Dune crazy as they've gone here recently, I don't know like where we're going with all this. I feel like it's just gonna dry up and we're gonna move on with an awkward bow, right? Like it's weird. So this was disappointing, man. I don't know. What did you guys? I know how you guys felt because I listened to both of your reviews, but yeah. What have you been reading every issue of this one as it's been coming out?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
I so thought I was going to be the voice of dissent here, and I'm so happy that we're getting so mad at Doom because I'm here for it in this series. Guys, like, okay, I'm going to start on a positive note, though. I will say something that I really, really enjoyed about this. Say what you will about this event, and say what you will about events at Marvel recently. One of the best parts about comics when I feel like events were really successful at Marvel was the early 2000s. And in the early 2000s, it was like a relay race. It was a baton that was being handed off. One thing led to the next. And that whole year's worth of comics, or even maybe 6 months worth of comics in between, was the ramifications, dealing with that and then dealing with the change. And then, oh crap, something else happens. And I think they were successful in the handoff going from Blood Hunt over to One World under Doom, right? They kind of established Doom as the Sorcerer Supreme. Now this is the ramification of that. Now, where they're not successful, though, is the storytelling. I feel like it is cheap parlor tricks of a comic book writing experience here. This is not Doom. And I said the same thing about the Dormammu issue, where he fights Dormammu and then calls on the Avengers to then fight Dormammu. I'm sorry, I can't see that happening. Doom is too proud to have to call on anyone for help to take on Dormammu. He would find a way. There is a way, and he would do that. And in fact, there very clearly was a way, because if he truly just had all these people from Latveria as a power source that he could tap into, he would have done so, and he didn't. He called on the Avengers. That ain't happening. Like, I do have respect for the character, and that wouldn't happen. Same thing with this issue. It felt, I'm sorry, you can't have the Marvel heroes be moronic the entirety of this series and then all of a sudden have an aha moment. And it all comes
we're all going to shoot at it in the same spot. All right.
Yeah.
Black Widow. It's like, what the hell is she going to do?
Yeah. It was, I have such issues with
Wanda?
this.
Get out of here.
It was this was really tough. They're really tough.
Yeah.
I had problems with this. Nick, tell me why I'm wrong.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's just like so my big issue with this was it was clearly a book where Doom is taking over the world and the heroes are just dumbfounded by how it could happen, and they're just always on the defensive because every time they try to stop him, Doom just makes him look like a fool in front of the masses, and it gets harder and harder. And then they all reconvene and go, "But guys, he's a freaking bad guy. How can this possibly be the case? And how could he win the popular vote across the world and solve all these problems that we've never been able to figure out?" And like, I don't have the Doom history that you guys have, so I'm reading this like, okay, it's just as cheesy as every other book I've read so far with Marvel, essentially. And then we have this moment here. I'm just waiting for the shoe to drop. I'm waiting for the moment to go, oh yeah, he's a bad guy, remember? And that's what we got in this issue. We didn't get everything. Maybe he's going to come out with a justification for his actions in the next couple of issues. But if he doesn't, and he's just a bad guy, then it's just going to be a throwaway story that we resolve, and then things are going to go back to normal. Eventually, he's going to lose his power. So, I mean, there's nothing really special going on here. There's some cool, flashy moments, but the substance just isn't there. And if this turns into he was a villain all along, then what are we doing? What kind of story are we telling?
Yep.
It's like, why are we here? If everything's going back to the status quo eventually. So it's a weird journey. There was cool moments. Don't get me wrong. There was really cool. I liked the Dormammu issue. I dug it a lot, mostly because of the inner monologue and the struggle. And him calling upon the Avengers, I think that was just part of the plan. It was all smoke and mirrors kinds of stuff to get them to put him out of pocket and then bring him back in and use that as an excuse to have them be on his side. But like, I don't know if that's in character necessarily. It's not, but it is a grand scheme that he's trying to unfold here.
Yeah, I don't
know, man. It's clunky as hell, and I'm not really loving it, but like, I'm interested.
Yeah, it's always easy, I feel like, to write like all those badass moments of him taking power and whooping ass and getting the one up on everybody, but it gets people just get mired in like where to go from there with him. And I think like Hickman and Byrne and like only a few writers have really been able to kind of maneuver with that character once he gets up to that plateau. And I know this isn't Secret Wars, and Marvel doesn't want it to be, or at least I don't think they do. But
let's hope they don't want it to be, because it's not.
It's still been I don't know, man. It's just been so watered down, and it just doesn't, like you said, it feels anemic. It feels like we're really struggling to sink our teeth into something that matters, issue to issue. I don't know how many more issues are they going to go with it. Is it 8? Are they getting in on an even number?
Or I could find out.
I don't know, because they're tying in all these other freaking Marvel titles, right?
Yeah, like, there's so many. That's the other thing, is like the enormity of
the Bring on the Bad Guys series. Like Red Skull had one coming out. I'm skipping all that stuff because I just don't care.
Yeah, it's solicited through 9 so far through November, but I don't believe that that's actually the end point. And there's another thing that comes to mind, though, and I hate to be the guy that goes, well, actually, he would never do this in comics because this, that, and the other, but I'm going to be that guy. Early on in the series, Valeria comes to him and she says, hey, are you doing this? Yeah, like, what's the reason you're doing this? Like, shoot me straight, because I know you wouldn't lie to me. And if this is true, then he does. And that's, again, it feels out of character. And, it's cheap for me to say that as an appreciator of comics, because guess what? The writer of comics can make these characters do whatever the hell they want to. And I understand that. But it doesn't feel like an earned decision. I feel like there would need to be some kind of change in Doom that we would experience. And maybe they'll explain that. But there needs to be some kind of change that would have happened for that. We
were talking about that in the Doom chat earlier tonight, about how, throughout the history between the two characters, there's never been any type of, permanent break like that. And he straight up lied to her here. So where are they going to go from that? But as a more mature character, now that she's grown, like, is this the opportunity? Like, are they gonna swerve and have Valeria be the voice of dissent?
That would be kind of cool. I would dig that, actually.
Yeah.
But and what I don't want to have happen either is I don't want the story to turn into, well, I truly felt like I was honoring my word to Valeria by being a good guy, and I think and he even says in this issue, the means justify the ends. And I'm like, oh no, does he truly believe this? So therefore he isn't breaking his word in the previous issue. You know what I mean? I don't want to turn one of those.
Yeah, that questions his intelligence, and he is an incredibly intelligent character. So
but he's also a means justify the ends kind of a character too, right? So it's like, I don't want to get into that whole debate either. Of like, no, I was telling the truth the whole time. I thought this was going to be okay, and the way to do it. It's like, oh God, come on, man.
But it just, the whole, like, him harvesting the entire populace of Latveria like machines from the Matrix just feels off to me. I think here and there with dissenters or somebody who writes a bad article about him, sure. But the entire population, children, like, read, like, we are looking at children. Give me a fucking break, man.
Isn't it well-known canon that he's like super protective of like his populace? And like that's the
you're
point.
Talking about the annual #2 is like it's benevolent doom. Like the first time you see him with the Latvian population, now it's gone back and forth over the years, but at the same time, something to where he's oppressed. I'm like, damn, this is like. It seems like an easy like, some easy to lay it on that they don't have to think too much on. I feel like they can do that.
It seems like a future 6-issue mini series where Doom is a man without a country who has to earn the trust of Latveria back. That's what this. I smell that coming a mile away.
Ideas. That does
Yeah.
not need to be a story. That we
And
tell.
here's my worry as a diehard fan of the character, and also a fan of Marvel, and what they have coming out in the future is like everybody's going to be fucking doomed the fuck out by the time this movie comes out, dude. If they're just going to keep like beating this horse and they're going to keep delaying this movie, it's just going to be overkill. And I think the best part about the character is the mystery. There's that bit of mystery to him, right? There needs to be some enigma, and I don't know. This is just a lot of overkill. So
Yep.
It's a lot of overkill, and it's a lot of bad representation. So if you're going to put the character out there in the spotlight, guys, you've got to have a rock solid creative team with just an undeniable story. You can't mess around like this and tell these kinds of stories and build hype. Like the fans of comic books aren't even interested in it necessarily. I mean, don't get us wrong. Like, we don't represent obviously the entire comic book community, but it's like, we want this to succeed and we just don't think it is. We wish it was stronger. So you're not going to get the casual person picking this up, and maybe they'll love it, but like, man, we need to do better. We need to put A teams on people that we have a future with, especially when the movies are coming up, and MCU depends on the success of that.
Yeah, Doom deserves better, guys. Amen.
We can all agree on that, actually. Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt.
Oh yeah.
And can we talk about that swipe, that cover swipe, that Jeremy Heiler cover swipe? Come on, guys.
Yeah, for real. I've seen that somewhere before.
Heiler did it better.
I think so. Yeah, it's not right.
Heiler did it better.
Yeah, absolutely. Amen, bro. Amen. All right, guys. Moving over to the other side of the major two. Let's go with DC Resurrection Man #5. We got Ron V writing, Anand RK on doing an incredible job on the artwork. Jeff DeCal. I mean, guys, the artistic team on this, right? Jeff DeCal covers, Ron V writing, Anand RK on artwork, Mike Spicer on colors, and Aditya Bidikar, I believe, on lettering. So, I mean, just
crazy.
Just the best of the best when it comes to the creative team on this one. And it shows in this book that they're giving us. We get the human target in this one, like very true. Like I love how we're kind of picking up on the momentum and the energy that Smallwood and King established last year with this character, where our boy calls on him. Like, and I love how Ron V is using all these, like you and I were talking about last night, lesser known, lesser used characters in the DC bullpen, and just writing incredible stories with them. Like, we'll see the Phantom Stranger, spoilers, we'll see the Phantom Stranger at the end of this book. But yeah, it was great to see him. Basically, we need to pull a switcheroo on my evil future self, who's after me for this. What is it? The fractal. What's the name of that thing?
Sure.
The MacGuffin. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah,
the shiny box.
Whatever, the gears of the universe or whatever.
Right, that's going to help him run, simulations of countless timelines and universes, so he can, defeat this all-consuming God who. How do I explain the story? This all-consuming God who once consumed a piece of him and now wants to eat more of him, but is in the process of like eating everything else, and he's got baby dolls attached to his back, and bro is on all sorts of type of
Dude,
shit.
thanks for running that back, man, because I lost the narrative so hard.
No problem, man. No problem. I'm here to provide clarity. Yeah, I'm here to provide clarity. I do love how this guy just gets weirder, right? Like the skulls multiply, like the things attached to him multiply. He's now, after consuming Vandal Savage, like this cosmic entity. And it's great, kind of like how we're going back and forth. You said yeah.
Yeah.
But man, where the story is going is somewhere special, I think. Especially where, what we see, like with the events of the end of this issue. But yeah, what did you think about this one, bro? Because I know you can at least articulate it a bit better than I can. But we pulled the old switcheroo on old boy, and it ends up, costing the Resurrection Man his life, but I think it's for the greater good in the end. What did you think about this issue and where we're heading after you?
Yeah, this has been a special series for me so far. I don't have any. I had no history with this character whatsoever. I knew the most barest of bare bones on the information about him, but I knew the creative team, so I dove into it, and I think there maybe the series could provide a little bit more clarity, but I also feel like it's setting up a couple different plot threads that are to be followed through. And I think that the biggest thing, and it was kind of like you had to pull the rug out from underneath the reader to make it effective, which was the through line that we meet the other version of Resurrection Man in issue number 1, and they kind of form this bond, and there's supposed to be a kinship and a friendship because it is, it's a version of yourself. You're speaking to yourself, and you think that the villain is one thing, and it turns out that sure, he is villainous, but he's not necessarily the villain of the story. The villain of the story is truly yourself, right? And the dark mirror image that you can see in what you can become if you make choices X, Y, and Z, which kind of fits so perfectly because that's the nature of this character, the Resurrection Man. He lives lives over and over and over, and he's constantly in circumstances where he has to make choices X, Y, and Z. So he's lived out consequences throughout a multitude of lifetimes. So I think that's where the most effective parts of the story are. For the issue, I think this was a little bit predictable because we knew he met up with the human target. What does the human target do? He takes on the persona of a person. So like we knew how things were going to play out and how things were evolving. But I enjoyed the journey that we get to take through this issue. And I really did like the aha moment where it felt like, he told the human target, I can't know. It's like, shut up, shush, shush, don't say anything.
Yeah.
I can't know what you know and what you're going to do. So I need to be in the dark about this. So I did like how the resolution came to play in the cemetery where he calls him out and basically says, like, I knew you would come back because the emotional, parts of your being were going to be too strong for you to resist. And he's like, yeah, but here's the thing. And then he does the Mission Impossible and he's just like, gotcha, bitch.
Yeah, he's like, we really pitched it up too. I'm in the graveyard. I'm drinking all alone. Like that was so great. I love the way it was done.
Human Target, the world's best character actor. Wow,
Oh
just
my
like,
God.
yeah, 10 out of 10 performance.
Absolutely. Nick, you keeping up with this one, bro? You enjoying it?
I am. I will say I'm losing the narrative a little bit, so it helps to talk through some of the moments here with it. So like the ending, I had to read that a few different times, and I don't think I fully grasped everything that was going on, but I really enjoyed the vibe of it. But I mean, the Human Target's addition to it was really fun because who can add a level of chaos that you need to like be successful in this mission? He can, right? So I thought it was a cool idea to bring him in, and the execution, the gotcha, the bait and switch was really cool. Yeah, I'm digging the artwork and everything too, but like this is a book I got to read a couple times to really grasp everything that's going on, and I could use a little bit of help and a little bit of spoon feeding here and there. But yeah, I've been really enjoying it. I think there's only one more issue after this,
it's
right?
got to be. We're
I think it's only 6 issues.
Yeah, I
total.
think we're
believe you're
going
right.
knuckles up for the fate of the universe. It certainly seemed like here at the end of this episode or this issue,
Right.
Because
Yeah.
And the way that this ends is just basically it's just going to be our confrontation with our growing abomination.
it's going to be Phantom Stranger and Resurrection Man versus what's his name? You said it so beautifully in the back chat, like many times. You were.
I definitely did not, unless I
I'm
made
just trying
something
to.
up.
I'm just trying to set you up. I'm just trying
I
to
was
set
like,
you up.
no.
Insert Axis name or
It's
something.
got
like
like
that.
17 syllables in it. It's like go to Morocco or something like that. Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, I have a hard enough time remembering where they go to the world between time and stuff. Samsara.
Oh, Samsara, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And I love this image here at the end with like the piece of Samsara and his heart. Like that was, man, beautiful rendering there by Anand. But this one is special, man. This is one of those special books of 2025, and like Nick said, I can't wait till it's all collected and we get to enjoy it in all its splendor. I know the homie Simpleton is cooking up something special with this one.
Dude.
I can't wait to see what he does, but yeah, dude, this is a dream. This is everything we could want as comic book fans. It's been, I think, a book that's such a beautiful reinvention and homage really to the British invasion, like with those
Mhm.
things that they do on the first page with those throwback pages with the Jackson Geese artwork or whatever, or
I
guys.
love
Like
those.
I love that. I love that stuff as well, and just like how we're showing love to all these minor characters and Human Target and Phantom Stranger showing up at the end here is just like pitch perfect, dude. So I can't. And no ads.
Oh man,
Amen, brother.
Yeah.
Hey, freaking man.
yeah. Marvel, pay attention.
Such a great production, top to bottom, both outside and in, physically, spiritually, emotionally. It's a beautiful book. So shout out Resurrection Man and everybody involved. We love
Yeah.
it.
We got Omega dropping freaking knowledge in the
I
chat.
know. Let me get
here,
back
man.
to these comments.
Yeah, look at this. Ron pulling
Oh
from all
man,
types of
dude,
mythology.
that's what I love about the 18 Days War. Like always learning something new about the culture from that side of the world is one of the things I love most about reading Ron's writing, dude. And the way he always pulls it back to that, I think is incredible. I think he really hit the pinnacle of that when he was doing the recipes and stuff on Rare Flavors. I thought the way he brought his world to the page like that was amazing.
Yeah,
Dude,
some of us
there's
really.
Gasha
Go ahead.
Dokoro.
Because
Gasha
some of us,
Dokoro.
some of us really
That's
enjoy
not that.
the cultural throwbacks and the recipes, but not everybody. Like our dear friend Greg.
Yeah, well, that's okay. You know, for a guy that did a cooking show with his wife, for God's
That's
sake,
what I'm saying.
I don't get it. I don't make it
It's
make
right
sense.
there for you.
Right there,
It's right.
dude.
He's giving you a gift, man.
Yeah.
Mm.
But you know what'd be really cool, and maybe someone has the gusto to do so. But man, Resurrection Man, with all its historical references and pulls, we need like a Ken Burns style documentary of all
Yo.
of the interconnectivity between this book and historical facts and mythology and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that anyone needs to do it, comic culture, but like I'm just saying maybe possibly if someone is brave
Oh,
enough,
that would
is
be
bold
sick.
enough.
I'm still hungover. I'm still hungover from the last time I did a deep dive. I need to. I need to.
maybe a trio of
Man,
individuals
you could
might
have
be
like
able
little
to.
historical clips from like all the wars and conflicts and
Oh yeah,
things
do
like
we know a
that
good
about
person that can
here.
splice together a bunch of B-roll like that, Stu?
I
Yeah.
Do we
don't.
know anybody like that?
Yeah, Dan, I don't know. He threw it to you first, man. Jokes.
I'm just
Jokes.
ponging it back over to you, bro.
Jokes
Damn
on
it.
you, bro. Jokes
Damn
on
it.
you. But go read this book, people. One of the best
Yeah,
ones on
it's
the
great.
stands. Incredible. So finish it
Yeah.
up soon. All right, our last book of the night. E, you know I'm gonna throw it to you, bro. The
Yes.
finale. I think we really landed the plane here. Incredible homages again to Uncle Frank and this one with the Daredevil and the bullseye scene. Just a beautiful piece of work, man. Three issues, and Steve, some of the work he did in this was career best. So, how did you feel, bro?
Dude, we've talked about every single one of these issues, whether it's on the monthly comic review or just like our regular comic reviews or right here on Ink and Insights. And we've said over and over and over, it's a love letter to Frank Miller. It's a love letter to Frank Miller. It is. I think that the finale of this, though, is truly more so just a love letter to the character and everything that Matt Murdock represents and everything that Matt Murdock is as a character, because Charles Soule does such a good job at pulling everything historically for this character, right? The religious background, the religious aspects, his conflict, if you will, with God and what it means to be a superhero and what his true calling is. This issue spells it out in such a great way, and it does so without losing the fact that it's a superhero comic, and it needs to be a little fun too. We need to have some stakes, we need to have some bombast, and we get all of that. We get we get an awesome moment with Frank Castle in this issue. Like, I mean, balls to the wall, freaking awesome moment where the dude suits up. It was crazy. Bullseye is just as maniacal as you would ever anticipate, and more so than anything, like, Matt Murdock transcends. And you all know what I'm saying here. I'm trying not to spoil it necessarily, but I kind of am a little
We gotta
bit.
spoil it. We gotta spoil it. Spoilers,
Okay.
guys. If you haven't read this one, yeah, full spoilers.
Oh yeah, this is. I mean, this is more the End of Days than I think that the End of Days series for Daredevil ever truly really was. This is Matt finding digging deep and finding what his true calling is at the very last moments that he ever possibly could, and maybe possibly realizing that it was always there to begin with. It was just such a great send off for the character, and such a really cool reinterpretation of the Marvel universe in this far flung future that reignites it too. You know, there's a lot of things that happen in the end. It's not a bold triumph. There's a lot of tragedy, and there's a lot. It's not a full on like, hey, the superheroes win. Like, no, things go bad. But at the end of the day, I feel like it was a really great swan song for a character. And like this, it's going to take a lot for this not to be my headcanon, actual real life end of Daredevil type story. It was fantastic. It was utterly fantastic.
Oh yeah, dude. That's great to hear. I loved it. I thought I completely agree with what you said about, you know, the love letter to Uncle Frank. I thought like his line work and the attention he gave everything in this one. You could tell it was a labor of love that truly took years. Like, dude, which one was it? Man, this panel with Bullseye where he spits his tooth out and activates the detonator.
Yeah,
dude, when I saw that,
so
I was like,
epic.
I'm pretty sure I said no when I was reading it. I was just like, are you kidding me?
Especially after we got this righteous moment where Uncle Frank pounced on top of him out of like the armor and bit his nose off. You know what I mean? It's like, yes, he got his. And there he is. Like, look at that ghastly image of him in the bottom right. Just unbelievable work by McNiven right there, man. It's just so true to the character. And so freaky, yeah. And it was just so deflating because you thought we got our righteous ending where the heroes stopped the bad guy and pulled it off. But no. He detonated the bomb. You know, Daredevil climbs to safety and is able to have that. I thought that this page with the climb was like some of Soule's best writing in the entire series, dude. I thought like he had to nail this page to nail the landing, really. And I thought he did that. So, yeah. Everything came together in a beautiful way. It wasn't too much. It was a nice little A to B. We kind of knew what was happening. It still had some nice twists and turns, and it was great to see Uncle Frank, dude. Uncle Frank be Uncle Frank, and also, you know, the scene at the end, like the relationship Frank had with the girl wasn't overlooked and was still honored in the end. And I love how you know Matt had to kind of prove his case there, even in the end. I thought that was dope.
Yeah.
What'd you think, Nick?
Come on, Nick. Yeah, come on. You can't
Come
just
on.
say yeah.
Yeah, like what's going on over there, bro?
No. It was great. It was great. So I really wish this was 4 issues. I really do, because like I could have used more at the end of the story, and not because the story was rushed or it felt bad. I just want more of this book in my life, you know. So like 3 feels like, oh man, why could we have more? I really loved you talked about the climb at the end, both metaphorical and literal. Inspiring hope in the community, trying to stop this. You know, I think they do a good job of that in the show too. Like just constantly pushing this character forward. He's always down, but he always has to pull himself out of the gutter to take on whatever the threat is. And this is very much that. So I really dug that. I love the balance between those heavy moments and then those funny moments with Frank hopping in the mech suit and taking on the threats and stuff like that, and how over the top that is and brutal. Even those little punk guards who were just like, hey man, you know, I felt bad the whole time that we were doing this to you. He just rips them in half. Good. You know what I mean? Like there was so
that, like he squeezes at one dude's head and he's just like, it's been too long. Like,
right. Yeah, exactly. So they do a good job of like adding these cool, grotesque comedic moments, but then being really heavy towards the end with all the emotion and the not redemption, but inspirational moments and things like that. So and then the girl, like I could have used a little bit more of her arc, to be honest with you. Like it was really cool how they ended that, and she kind of like soaked up all the energy and flames or whatever, the disease, and absorbed all that to, you know, help prevent everybody turning into those monsters and stuff. So I think that was really cool. And yeah, it was a great it is a great end cap on just like Daredevil in general, like he was saying. Yeah, I had a great time with this. I mean, I really hope they make a really nice quality collected edition so it can live on the shelf and be that book that everybody points to and say, you want a cool Daredevil story that kind of tells the end of this whole run? Guys, go check out, Cold Day in Hell. It's got a great collected edition. You're going to eat it up, man. So yeah, bravo to the team, guys. It was a great story, great art. Can't wait for a cool collected edition.
Did McNiven do the colors? Who did the colors on this? E? Do you know? Look it up.
I don't
got it
know
right
off the top of my head, but you might be right because I feel like it was bare bones.
Dean White. Dean White did the colors. So shout out Dean
okay.
White, dude. Yeah, he did a great job. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Hell yeah. So that'll do it for comics this week. E, you want to kick us off with our covers of the week, bro?
Absolutely, yes. Birds of Prey, man. Bruno Redondo does a fantastic portrayal here of Black Canary here staring at the punching bag. I really loved the simplicity of it, but man, that line that cuts through the halfway point of the cover here, depicting the light coming through, really dug that. Let's see here. What's next for me? Come on. You guys already know. Jim Food, man. If he's got a cover, I'm gonna showcase it for sure.
That is gorgeous, dude.
Just to spotlight this series or this first issue, though, Kulisak was really freaking cool. Like, if you buy it for Jim Food's cover, great. I'm not gonna fault you by any means. If you look in the interiors, though, this is a wild freaking looking book, man. Really fun story, really cool stuff. But come on, I'm here for Food all day. So great cover there. We just talked about it, man. McNiven drawing anything Daredevil now. I'm just like, I want more of that in my life. His depiction of Elektra, dude, is electric though. So that had to showcase that one. And then D-Dubs doing this awesome portrayal, really reminiscent of the Fall from Grace storyline. There was this stark white cover with Daredevil falling from Fisk Tower. It really reminds me of that. But yeah, really dug that as well. So short and sweet, double dose of Daredevil here. What more could you ask? I mean, that's like a perfect.
That series has had ridiculous covers thrown through all 3 issues. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So those are my covers.
Best Uncle Frank cover of the year, I think, for sure.
I mean, if he's doing Daredevil, if he's doing Daredevil, you can't go wrong. I don't care how scrunchy or not scrunchy it is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For me, Chip Zdarsky doing his own cover for Captain America #2. This book has been me, but this cover was fire. I love this cover. Doom. I love just love the composition and the colors here. So wanted to highlight that one. What have you all thought about this book so far?
It needs more runway for me to give any kind of concise feeling. I don't feel great about it right now, but I'll continue to give it a little bit more chance.
Fair enough.
Same.
Jorge Corona doing a JSA variant with a Hawkman. I just love his line work here, and love the way he chose to frame this. Great cover. Paul Azaceta, dude, doing a great negative space cover for World Tree. I can't believe this series is still going, but hell yeah. But yeah, great cover by Paul, dude.
I didn't know he did that cover. Wow.
Yeah. Fantastic. Dude, I did not get to read the series yet. I heard my boy E say good things about it. But Steve McNiven doing this sick ass, this felt like an Uncle Frank homage with this Wolverine cover, dude.
Oh yeah.
It felt like a trade paperback vibe, but I adored this one. You like this one though, dude. Tom Riley and the artwork too.
Dude, this one took me by surprise so hard. I didn't even think I was going to read it, to be honest, because Claremont going back to revisit his time when he was on the X-Men, it sounds good on paper, but I can't say that it really translates to a modern comic reader sensibilities, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
This one totally worked, man. I loved it. I ate it up. I will read this again. I loved it. I absolutely loved this issue, and I was surprised.
Hell yeah, bro! I'm gonna check it out. I love Tom's artwork. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And before we get out of here tonight, I got to shout out Null Hunter. It came to a close with issue number 10. I think another book that definitely landed the plane. Great fight with Zeus there in the end, and kind of I don't know, an unresolved anxiety that felt appropriate for the book. So I thought it was a fantastic ending. Really did this story justice. I thought it was such a beautiful interpretation of the 12 Trials of Achilles and Gustavo Vargas, man. It was great hearing Walsh kind of talk about, I think in the letters on one of these, how he had a vague idea, like he always wanted to write the story, but it wasn't until he saw Gustavo's designs for the characters and his artwork that he really got inspired. And it's just been one of the, I think, most slept on books of this year. I got to shout out E for really putting me on, but I wanted to shout out these variants that they did over the last 3 issues, which feature the 12 Trials of Achilles and like this storybook Grecian urn type of cover set. But these are by Artyom Karkanov, but I just thought these were dope, and I wanted to shout them out. So, and also recommend to you guys that you check out No Hunter by Michael Walsh and Gustavo Vargas if you haven't yet already. Incredible book. Anything you wanted to say about the series?
Just that, I mean, if you're already a Michael Walsh fan, it seriously does play on all of his strengths, right? He's not an overly verbose type of writer. He lets the artist do a lot of heavy lifting, but the words that are on the page are the ones that absolutely need to be there. It makes it really concise with every single choice that is made. So it was totally worthwhile, man. It was a great honoring of the myth of the Greek myth itself. I dug it.
And that'll be it for me for covers. Real quick, Simpleton said, "Oh, we already got a hardcover for that Daredevil." Oh yeah.
All right. I hope it has some great back matter. There could be a lot of fun things, man.
So much good stuff. Damn, that Mahfoud is a 1 in 100. Yikes.
Yeah,
that's a bad idea book, right?
Yeah, yeah. It might be a bad idea to spend that much money on a single thing for a cover.
Yeah, it's $90 on Midtown.
Yeah. What up, Pizzo? Claremont Wolverine was good. Old School X-Men. Hell yeah, bro. Oh damn, he had a Kickstarter. I missed out on that as well.
The same thing too is Peruvian. It was like billed as Peruvian cyberpunk, and I'm like, that sounds cool as hell.
Yeah, I know. Definitely check out Gustavo's stuff, guys. He's incredible. But yeah, this variants are so good. It really is, Omega. It's cyberpunk at its best. It's such a brilliant reinvention of that genre. So highly recommend to you guys out there. E, talk to us about Comics Futures Past today. What do we got coming up today in the history?
All right. So released on August 6th, 2003, Alias number 25, the Max series that tells the story, our introduction of the character of Jessica Jones, who really has been there throughout the legacy of the Marvel Universe, but we kind of like really gets a feel for her, and we kind of are introduced to her in the early 2000s. This is not necessarily the introduction or the origin story of Jessica Jones, which we did cover here on a previous Comics of Futures Past here, so make sure to check out the replay on whatever episode that may have been. This is kind of the origin story of the Jessica Jones that we all know and love, which is a tragic story. It is a story filled with turmoil and filled with trauma, because it's all about how the Purple Man gets his hooks in her and how he manipulates her and how she becomes the character that she is, and eventually how she breaks that hold on that he has on her. So really great issue here. I love the flashbacks that we get to see, because every time we get a flashback, it's done by Mark Bagley, which gives you that classic comic book feel. But every time it gets into the modern day, it goes back to Michael Gaydos. So it's really cool. And they play with that classic comic book feel by doing something really cool, which is to use the monikers, like Jazzy John Romita. They have Bashful Brian Bendis and the Magnificent Mike Gaydos. So really cool stuff, man. Alias is a great series. It is 100% a Max series. So if you can enjoy that kind of flavor in your life and you haven't read it, make sure you check out Alias. It's totally worthwhile.
That moment.
Yes, everyone, if you've read it, everyone knows that moment where like, oh, okay, Marvel. But this was totally cool. I really dug it. They did a great interpretation of this as well on the Netflix series. So Alias is great. Jessica Jones is a great character, and it was only right to showcase her for Comics of Futures Past.
Did you like Gaydos' artwork throughout the series?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I dig a lot of that era's gritty artists, I guess. I mean, I'm
like
kind of having. Yeah, we had Maleev, Michael Lark, Michael Gaydos. There's a lot of them, and
it's interesting now that I think about it. Bendis had like a style, didn't he?
He did, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, David Mack too. But I mean, you know what? Comics are more than just one thing, right? They don't have to be all classic feeling and looking, and they don't have to be 90s with big muscles and big guns. Comics are for everyone, and there's a lot of different things. And I think that, series like this really goes to show that.
Just want you to appreciate how hard I'm biting my lip, not making filthy, dirty, rotten joke right now. We got, oh, dude, I missed the Benojan cover. Oh, man. I try to find them every week, folks. So I will include it next week.
There we go.
So shout out to him, the man. Hey, Bobby in the house. Station
Buddy.
brother. Thank you. Good
What's
to
up?
see you, man. Oh, yeah. All right. Real quick, what do we got worth mentioning? I'll go first, real quick. Alien Earth dropped on Hulu. Check it out. First 2 episodes are out. I've heard great things.
Watching it tonight.
I know. I'm gonna watch it when I get out of here. I can't wait. Other than that, I wanted to shout out the chat. Somebody told me to pick up Robot Todd. I did. Oh, I'm going. Robot Todd. Story was a little bizarre. I feel like I'm missing something, but the artwork was super cool, y'all. So I forget who it was in the chat last week that said they were picking this one up and excited for it, but I saw it on the shelf and grabbed it. So check it out. Robot Todd from Floating World Comics. That was part 3. And then Fortress, dude. This one reminded me a lot of Tony McMillan's work by Joel Vanderknapp, created and produced by him, and a super dope story. I just wanted to recommend that one. A nice little another indie book, which I think both my homies were talking about this past week as well. Anyway, did you guys have anything worth mentioning that you wanted to shout out before we get out of here tonight?
Well, I think I would have shouted out Wolverine. We talked about it a little bit, so I'll say that. I don't know. Kenny Rogers Roasters. Check it out. Great chicken. Addictive.
I like it.
I don't know. Shout out to the Batman Harley Quinn reprint that we got this week too, guys. The Alex Ross cover. Like, I don't have this actual comic, the original print, so it's one of my gaps in my Harley collection. But damn, this one's so pretty, square bound and everything. Like, they did a great job with the reprint here. So I immediately throw it in a bag and board, and I'll just be staring at it until I can find an original.
Amen, brother. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Good stuff. All right. What do we got coming out next week that you guys are excited about?
Ooh.
Dark Patterns and Power Fantasy and Ultimates. Top of the list, obviously, for me. How about y'all? Anything you read already?
Nothing I've read so far. Nick, go ahead and take.
I've read all these. Yeah, these are great. Yeah. Yeah. So Kryptonite Spectrum was pretty cool, man. Like, you get the idea pretty quickly about what the format and formula is going to be for the series. We understand what the Spectrum is and what the role is, and there's really cool. It's just a really cool set piece, like, right?
And
so,
just for everybody out there, that's the Ice Cream Man.
Yeah, it's W. Maxwell Prince and
Superman,
Martin Morazzo doing that, and it's really cool. It definitely has the vibe, but it doesn't have like the dreariness of like an Ice Cream Man, but it definitely has that uneasiness that you'd expect from that art style in general. And then the subject matter alone, W. Maxwell Prince can do some pretty cool things with that. So I'm excited to see this formula be repeated throughout the series, because there's a repeating element that's going to be in here with the Spectrum. So yeah, I can't wait to see how they close it up. But yeah,
Can't wait to read that one. I'm excited.
Conan's always a solid read. Ultimates, keeps introducing some pretty cool characters, the ultimate formats of them. Dark Patterns, man, just a great detective story. Issue number 9. We have 3 more issues coming out. This obviously wraps up the 3rd arc. So, and it does so in a pretty satisfying way. I got one gripe, but a pretty satisfying way, I would say. And man, I can't wait for a collected read on that. And of course, Power Fantasy, guys. It's incredible.
Oh yeah, I just want to say shame on Marvel for releasing Wolverine Revenge, Red Band Raw, Black and White edition. Ain't nobody nobody want them pencils in black and white, yo. Come on, you did us dirty with that. That was a letdown. We can do better than that, Marvel.
Yeah. So. And you notice how I didn't say anything about Fantastic Four?
There we are.
Oh, wow. All right. What happened? What's the Fantastic Four book again?
Number 2, Ryan Norris.
Number 2, right? They renumbered.
Yeah, Ryan Norris soft reboot. Yeah.
Roth covers this time around, huh? How have you been enjoying Ramos's art through 2 issues?
I'm trying to remember. It's been all right. It's it's been fine. I think the coloring is pretty cool in it too. Is pretty good, but like, I don't know. It's hard when the story is just not clicking. Everything else kind of falls apart, I think, on it.
Yeah.
So I really need everything to be 100% to really, really enjoy it, I suppose. I don't know.
Heard that.
Yeah. It's been serviceable.
Yeah, it's just good to see. I love Strange Academy. I thought he was so amazing in that. It's good to see him back.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
There's moments.
fair enough. All right. Well, that's it for us this week, guys. Thanks for coming through and joining us as always. You can find us at patreon.com/insights. You can find me on Dr. Doom's Fan Club on IG and YouTube. You can find E over at the number 9 panel grid on YouTube and on IG at 9 spelled out panel grid. And then Nick is over there at Comic Culture on YouTube and Nick_comic_culture on IG. So check us out there. Make sure you're followed and subbed up so you don't miss out on any more great comic book content. Fellas, what do you got coming out? Nick, what do you got coming out this week, bro? Give them the rundown.
Double dip today, so you can get the Cadets View and you can get the haul already posted today. And then we got Nick at Night weekly comic book review show on Saturday nights. And then we're going to be bumping the comic book look ahead. I think we're going to do it on the 24th instead of the 31st. So a couple more Sundays from now. Look out for that on the 24th. I'll be out of town the next weekend, so can't do it the 31st. So more to come on that one though.
Oh yeah. E, how about you, brother?
On the pull list, weekly comic book reviews dropping every Sunday. Cover story shifted over to Friday mornings now, covering all the news for the comic book related stuff that's going to be dropping. So make sure you check that out on Friday morning. Check us out next week over on Notes from the Editors, where I'm very excited to go over treating my comic book collection like a bonsai tree. But we'll talk about that more on Tuesday night here, and we'll get we'll get Stu's thoughts on this maybe.
Oh Lord. Can't wait. Yeah, can't wait. Real quick, I want to shout out Rooster. Oh yeah, bro. Thanks for the recommendation. Always appreciate it. You guys got any books you think are going to be great in the weeks coming on? Make sure to let us know, and we will try to read them and give them a shout on the show if we enjoyed them and feel they would make for a good conversation. So, yeah, appreciate all y'all coming through and spending time with us. As always, catch us every Tuesday and Wednesday night on either the Dr. Doom's Fan Club or 9 Panel Grid channels. Until next week, y'all.